Welcome once again to the program Transforming Lives One at a Time. I'm your friendly host, Deanne. Of course, it's always a pleasure being in your company. On this program, we discuss, we highlight issues that we face as a society, any and everything that affects the human experience. Our goal is to restore hope and to bring solutions to problems and issues we face on a daily basis. Today, we will be getting first-hand information as it relates to menopause. I have a very able guest in the person of Dr. Victor Wheeler, and of course, he is no stranger to the medical field here in Tobago. Dr. Victor Wheeler, medical graduate of the University of the West Indies in 1987, Jamaica and Trinidad. He did specialist training in obstetrics and gynecology in the UK and obtained membership in the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, London in 1995. Then 20 years later, in 2015, was bestowed with a fellowship of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Specialist obstetrician and gynecologist in Tobago since 1995. Former medical chief of staff of the Scarborough General Hospital. Former president of the Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association, former member of the Council of the Medical Board of Trinidad and Tobago. Previous consultant with the United Nations Population Fund in 2024 and former independent senator in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Currently holds the rank of Major in the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force and the liaison with the Tobago Health Studies Unit in Scarborough, aligned with the University of Pittsburgh, USA. Dr. Wheeler, welcome to Transforming Lives One at a Time.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you as well.
Yes. As I was going through the bio, I was thinking, where does Dr. Wheeler have the time to get involved with all of these things? I said, you'll have to just fill us in. Yes. Well, Dr. Wheeler, as we get into the discourse, there are so many myths when it comes to the issue of menopause. So we want to clear up some of the misconceptions and bring a bit more understanding to our viewers today. Firstly, to set that foundation, could you just explain exactly what is menopause?
Right. Menopause, by the word meno, meaning periods, pause, meaning stop. It essentially means the natural cessation of a woman's periods, not due to medication or pregnancy.
Okay.
And the average age internationally is about 50. But for some women, it can be as early as 40, or some women have periods going on beyond 50. In terms of the cause, the natural cause is the ovaries that the woman has. When the eggs no longer are being produced, she doesn't ovulate, the period stop.
Okay.
However, in some women who've had a hysterectomy for various reasons, whether it is fibroids or cancer, once the womb is removed, then there's no periods.
Okay.
So those are some of the reasons why a woman would go into the menopause. But it's by definition a cessation of the woman's periods for at least 1 year. So somebody who's missed their periods for 6 months, that's not the menopause. You need to wait a year.
Okay. Oh, so once 1 year, full year.
One full year has passed, and the woman is not pregnant and she's not on medication, there are some tablets that will cause your periods to stop.
Yes.
And when you come off the medication, the periods come back again.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Well, let's delve into the various stages of menopause. What can be expected? Does it affect women in different ways?
Yeah, so it's a gradual progression. As I said, with women, the menopause means the period ends when the woman's ovaries no longer is producing estrogen. So it's not, for many people, it's not that you wake up one day and then you don't have periods again. There's something called the perimenopause, which is the transition from a person having normal periods into the periods stopping. This perimenopause can actually start from early as the age of 40.
Okay.
So someone reaches 40, 41, 42 and notice the periods before that every month and time. After 40, they may start to miss 1 or 2 periods. Okay. What this means is that for the particular month that the period is missed, they didn't ovulate to produce an egg. And just a reminder of what ovulation is. Ovulation is when the egg develops in the ovary, and when that egg reaches full maturation, usually 14 days after the period, the egg is released. And if a pregnancy doesn't occur at the same time the egg is being developed, the lining of the uterus is becoming thicker and thicker, expecting a pregnancy. If the pregnancy does not occur, then the hormone levels fall and that bed is shed as the period.
Okay.
So if a woman, however, gets pregnant, the hormone levels rise and no periods occur because that continues for the 9 months. For most women who ovulate, if ovulation occurs and they don't get pregnant, the bed that was being developed, it's shed, and that's what the period is. So the period is not about dirty blood or any impurities in the body, as some women feel.
Yes.
It is simply that a lining was being developed expecting a pregnancy.
Okay.
And when the pregnancy did not occur, there is no need for the bed and the womb naturally sheds it.
Right.
And the cycle continues with the next month.
Okay. But I've heard some women say that their period continued and somehow they were pregnant. Does that happen regularly?
So over the age of 50, for those persons who are still ovulate, they will still the period. So it's theoretically possible over 50 in someone who is having periods to get pregnant.
Right.
I've never seen it myself in my 30 years, but it is theoretically possible. When it is more likely to occur is the woman gets to the age of 40 and starts to miss her periods and thinking, well, okay, well, I'm not producing eggs again and I wouldn't get pregnant. But that is when between the age of 40 and 50, she can still get pregnant. But by definition, the menopause is when you've not had a period for a year.
Right.
And once that is the case, you're not going to get pregnant after.
Okay. Well, as you spoke a little bit about perimenopause, and I want to just get into so persons can get a clearer understanding. So let's talk about the signs that a woman is entering perimenopause or have officially reached menopause.
Right. So the perimenopause means you are still having periods, but you are missing. So the periods, whereas before it was coming every month, you might see a period once every 2 months, once every 3 months. And that is because you are not producing eggs. And at the same time, whenever the woman develops to produce an egg, her hormone, estrogen and progesterone is released.
Yes.
In the perimenopausal period, because you are not producing eggs every month, the amount of estrogen that is released starts to fall.
Okay.
So you can get some of the symptoms in the menopause. The common ones would be hot flashes, headaches, dryness of the skin, dryness of the vagina. You would have heard the term brain fog. That was used with COVID before. Brain fog just means the woman suddenly forgets what she might be talking about, gets more anxious, may get periods of depression. And it is during these symptoms real problems can occur with their marriage or with their partner. Because one of the symptoms is with the hot flashes and the sweating, irritability. So let's say the partner touches them, they say, no, don't touch me.
Right.
They're irritable.
Okay.
The man thinks it's a problem with him. So very often when I'm seeing patients with menopausal symptoms, I try to encourage them to bring their partner along.
Okay.
Because it is important for him to understand
Yes.
what his wife or partner is going through. So he'll be a little bit more sympathetic and empathetic,
Yes.
and assist us through it, because if he doesn't understand, that could be
Right.
real problems for that
Of
relationship.
course, because as you spoke about that, immediately my mind ran on information and getting the populace to understand what is happening, because many times you hear about menopause and all you would hear, okay, a woman stops seeing her period and she will have hot flashes and mood swings, and don't talk to mommy at this time because, and studies would have shown that a lot of relationships don't survive it.
Yes.
So is it that we need to have a more robust educational drive? You know, just in letting persons know, and we could probably normalize the conversation that menopause is here, it's here to stay, and we need to be equipped. We need to have the knowledge, the information, partners need to be there. Is it that we need a more robust educational drive?
Oh, definitely, because for the women who are affected in the 40s and 50s, these women are at the top of their profession.
Yes.
And you could imagine someone who is a CEO conducting a meeting and suddenly she forgets what she's about to say, or suddenly gets a hot flash.
Right.
You know, that can have a significant effect on the functioning of that woman. And it's no fault of hers, it's just her body going through the change. Now, there are some women go from periods to menopause and don't have any symptoms whatsoever.
Wow. Lucky them.
But it's the minority. The majority would have some symptom, and it's important for the woman herself to recognize what's going on. The partner, and you mentioned children. The children should also, even though they would know that mommy is going through some change, they must understand what is happening and to help her to deal with it. Because it's a very difficult time, and some women have the symptoms for a year or two. Other women have the symptoms 10 years, and the symptoms may never go away. And then you have some of the more long-term symptoms occurring, which is osteoporosis, your bones get brittle.
Yes.
The woman might start to suffer with heart issues, cardiovascular issues. And that is because while the woman is having her periods, the estrogen helps to strengthen her bones.
Yes.
The estrogen is also a vasodilator. You don't really hear about women under 50 having a heart attack. That's because the estrogen protects their hearts.
Okay.
Even the stroke. So the woman, because of the ovaries functioning normally, is actually protective to these things. You would see men having heart attack and stroke.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Because they don't have that natural estrogen protecting them, but the woman it does. So over the age of 50, when this estrogen level drops, the woman starts to have the things that the ovaries were protecting her from before.
Right. So at this point, the earlier women have that kind of information, they could be able to better adapt, have conversations, probably little counseling sessions with the family and the spouses, so they could be able to understand clearly what it is that, okay, my wife is now going through this period. The children can now understand my mother is going through this period. So if we have the information, we can be able to be in a better position to understand, and as you rightfully said, to be able to sympathize, empathize, and to be in a better position to adapt to the necessary changes and to assist wherever.
Right, because if the woman knows this is what may happen when the menopause starts, she can start to take actions to help mitigate it.
Okay.
Because lots of times when I see patients, the first line of treatment is advising on diet and exercise.
Okay.
So for example, things that could trigger a hot flash: coffee, caffeine, tea, alcohol. advise about cutting back on that.
Okay.
What clothes you wear. So if the places, try to wear loose fitting clothes, not tight clothes.
Really? Wow.
At night when the hot flushes can come on, have the room cool.
Okay.
Whether it was a fan or AC. There are some women who use lots of hot showers and saunas.
Yes. That's a no-no.
Well, it's better to bathe in room temperature or have a cold shower before going to bed.
Okay.
And you may need to reduce people talk about going to the spa and so on.
Yes.
Try to limit the amount of saunas that you use, because anything that heats the body and the skin could encourage the hot flash.
Wow.
Exercise comes important because, as I mentioned, with the estrogen levels falling, the bones get brittle. So, in fact, women start to lose bone strength and health from the time they reach 35.
Wow. So
the younger women, regular exercise, weight-bearing exercise as you get older. Something like walking is a weight-bearing exercise.
Okay.
Lifting weights, it doesn't have to be heavy weights, but if you lift some weights with your cardio, it helps to strengthen your muscles and your bones.
Right.
Cardiovascular exercise, as you get older, well, many of us, not you, but those of us who over 50, it becomes more difficult to lose weight.
Okay.
And the weight that you put on tends to be around the tummy and the waist. So regular exercise, cutting down the fatty, fried food, cut down on the amount of sugar, all of these are things that you can do, lifestyle changes.
Right.
And it does help a lot of the times with some of the symptoms of the menopause.
Okay.
Sleeping. Some women have difficulty sleeping because the place is hot.
Yes.
They're sweaty. So this is what I talked about, cooling the room.
Right, and not these hot showers in the night.
Right. I've not mentioned medication. Medication is the last resort in dealing with the menopause symptoms, because there are many things, as I've mentioned, that you can do to help to reduce it.
Yes.
But one of the single most important things that can help the woman with dealing with her symptoms is an understanding and caring partner.
Okay, that is critical.
That is critical, because if he understands what she is going through and why she is going through it, he will help her to mitigate some of these symptoms, because it can be very, very traumatic, as you know.
Of course, and that's why I mentioned about normalizing the conversation. There are some conversations, generally. We talk about cancer, we have it in a secret. We talk about, it has certain things, and you know the culture here in Tobago, in Trinidad and Tobago. When we talk about certain things, it's like there's a wow, and you try to keep it under.
Correct.
But the more we are informed, the better we are able to perform.
Yes.
So if we could be able to start normalizing that conversation, I think we would definitely be in a much better place. But at this time, we're going to take our first short break, and we'll be right back. You're viewing Transforming Lives One at a Time, and we are speaking about menopause. Stay with us.
If you're wondering where to find top-tier quality tiles and products to refurbish or renovate your wall, floor or pool, well, your worry is over. Come to D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center, Store Bay Local Road, opposite the Bonnecourt Primary School, Tobago, where you will find porcelain, mosaic and ceramic tiles of the highest quality guaranteed. D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center also stocks thinset, grout, tile cutters, and yes, windows. Plus a friendly smile and service that's second to none awaits you. So forget the hassle and get all the quality tiles you need right here in Tobago at D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center. Call us today at 460-8802, 639-8281. Opens Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m.
Do you need electrical and plumbing supplies from construction to finish? Then check out Voodoo's Enterprises Limited, Milford Road, Canaan, Tobago. Get LED bulbs and fixtures, septic tanks, water pumps, laminate flooring, press cut power tools, and so much more. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. Call 280-2050 or 660-4970. Boodoo's Enterprises Limited.
Hi, I am Deanne, host of Transforming Lives One at a Time, and I would like to introduce you to our brand new segment, Good Vibes, Good News. And this is where you have the opportunity to highlight your good news. You can send your 90 seconds video to our WhatsApp number 868-701-2099. That's 868-701-2099. Let's hear some of the good news that we never hear about. Good vibes, good news. Inspiring hope. Celebrating wins. Truly grateful.
Hi, I am Deanne, host of Transforming Lives One at a Time. And it's that time again when the world celebrates International Men's Day on Wednesday, November 19th. Men, I encourage you to push past your limitations. Ignite that power and passion from within you to succeed in every sphere. In spite of the many challenges and turmoils you face, know that you were born to win. You were born to shine. You were born to make impact. Our men remain resilient, unmovable, committed to the task, and focused. Happy International Men's Day from all of us at Transforming Lives One at a Time. We salute you. Welcome back to the program. Well, just before the break, we were talking about so many different areas, and of course, we were talking about how critical it is to have the menopause conversation, I would put it. We need to normalize it so we know exactly what we are getting into when that time comes. So Dr. Wheeler, we cannot talk about menopause and not speak about the many symptoms you touched on a couple earlier. And of course, I know that two of the more popular ones are like the hot flashes and the mood swings. Let's just talk a little bit more about those symptoms.
So what I think I should explain is what causes the symptoms. Now, I'd said that menopause is when the ovaries no longer produce eggs and therefore no longer produce estrogen.
Right.
The ovaries are controlled by the brain. There is a particular section of the brain, the pituitary gland, that releases a hormone called follicle stimulating hormone. This hormone is what stimulates the ovary to produce estrogen if the estrogen levels are falling.
Okay.
And there's a feedback loop system into another part of the brain called the hypothalamus, where another hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH, if the estrogen levels are low, that stimulates the release from the hypothalamus to then stimulate the pituitary to then stimulate FSH. Now this FSH is a hormone that can be tested. So for example, someone who is missing her periods, not certain if she might be going into the menopause, you can do that test to see if it is high.
Okay.
But the hot flashes and the sweats are because this other thing in the hypothalamus, GnRH, when the low estrogen levels cause that to be released, it's released in pulses every 30 seconds.
Okay.
So the typical symptom a woman will get is that she'll get a hot flash for a few seconds, then it passes. Another hot flash and then it passes.
Okay.
She gets sweat, then it passes. So the continuous release of that causes the symptoms.
Right.
That's the hot flashes and the sweating. Same thing with the mood swing. When you get this hormone being released, her mood will change, and the mood can either be the woman may get anxious, anxiety, or they may go through periods of depression.
Wow.
The other thing that can happen is forgetfulness, short-term memory loss.
Okay.
She comes into her house, put down her keys and can't remember.
All right.
In the middle of a conversation, you suddenly forget what you are saying. You can't remember what you had for breakfast. Now,
Yes.
sometimes this may happen normally with persons,
Right.
but they notice a drastic difference with this. And another more common symptom after the estrogen level has been low for like a few months is dryness of the vagina, a reduction in the libido and sex drive.
Okay.
And this is where the partner comes in, because he will, what's going
Yes.
on. Been married 20 years.
Of course, of
you
course,
know,
of course.
And when it comes to being intimate,
Problem.
she's hot and sweaty. He's
Yes.
hot and sweaty for a different reason.
Right.
But he tries to touch her, and
Yes, yes,
yes.
So it's a serious matter. Yeah.
So this is where the understanding comes in. And as I said, some of the more long-term effects, if the estrogen levels, after a number of years, the bones get brittle, heart problems occur, skin, dryness of the skin is irritable. If she tries to touch the skin, breaking of the hair, she notices that when she combs or brushes, the hair falls off a lot more often. And again, that is because the protective nature of estrogen is lost. As you would know, in some women, some grandmothers, they get little mustache.
Yes.
Again, that is the reduction. Now, every woman has testosterone, which causes in men deep voice, mustache, and beard. Mm-hmm. But in women, because the estrogen levels fall, the effect of the testosterone becomes more prominent.
Oh.
And that contributes
so sometimes you get some beard here.
Yeah, because then the most typical thing, grandmother, mustache, little beard.
Yes.
Here on the face, that sort of thing.
Wow. Well, I am so happy that we are having this conversation, because as I said in the opening, we have so many misconceptions, and I felt it was very necessary to have you here so that you can give us ball by ball commentary, as they say in cricket. Well, I want us to talk about hormone therapy, what it entails, and of course, again, the myths and misunderstandings associated with it.
So, as I'd said before, the cause of the menopause is the ovaries no longer, first of all, producing eggs.
Right.
And is the production of the eggs that causes the estrogen levels to rise. So the main cause of the symptoms of the menopause is falling estrogen levels.
Right.
So if the falling of the estrogen level is what causes the menopause, if you were to give the woman what she previously normally would produce, which is the estrogen, the symptoms would go away.
Okay.
So in the short term, the hot flashes and night sweats is because of the fall in estrogen levels.
Yes.
If you give this back to her, she would notice that those symptoms would subside. I mean, you can get the hormones in tablets. There are some places where you can get hormone creams.
Okay.
The patches, or sometimes an injection you can get. So that is what really the hormone replacement, that's what HRT is.
Right.
Hormone replacement therapy. You are replacing in the woman what her body would normally produce.
Got you.
And that's why they call it HRT. And of course, 15, 20 years ago, HRT got an unfair reputation because there was some study done 20 years ago that linked HRT with increase in breast cancer.
Oh.
And after that, lots of women who previously had no problems with the hormones stopped taking it, and doctors stopped prescribing it. Okay. But further studies and an evaluation of that show that it is true if you are taking the hormones but it depends on the length of time you're taking it.
Right.
And when they looked at it, they said women who are under the age of 50 taking hormones, there is no increase whatsoever in breast cancer if she's under 50. And the reason being, normally those women who have their ovaries functioning would normally be producing estrogen.
Yes.
Naturally.
Right. So there'll be no need
There's
to take that.
Well, you're giving the HRT to the woman, for example, who might have had a hysterectomy at 40.
Oh, okay.
And the ovaries were taken out.
Right.
So there are some cases why women would stop seeing their periods under 50.
Right.
Premature menopause, it can occur at 40.
Okay.
Hysterectomy, cancer.
Right.
Those things. And there's something called primary ovarian failure, where for some reason the ovary just stops functioning at 40, no longer producing eggs.
Okay.
Those women who take estrogen before the age of 50, there is absolutely no increase in breast cancer.
All right.
Over the age of 50, if a woman starts on the HRT and takes it for up to 10 years, there's also no increase in the risk of breast cancer.
Okay.
The risk of breast cancer occurs if you start HRT over the age of 50, and if you take it for more than 10 years.
Okay.
So for those women who you've tried natural, you've tried exercise and diet, cutting back on tea, coffee, cooling the room, not having so much hot showers,
right.
Exercising, and you're still having symptoms, I would start them on initially 1 or 2 months of the estrogen.
Okay.
To see if they'll have a response. And I say, okay, well, you are concerned about the risk of breast cancer, then take the hormones for 6 months and then come off.
Right.
And then if over the next few months you notice, then go back for another 6 months. Taking it that way, there is no increased risk of breast cancer.
Okay.
Now, the replacement hormone is primarily estrogen. For those women who still have the uterus, if they take estrogen alone and they have the uterus, and you don't take anything else, the estrogen alone over a period of years may increase your risk of cancer of the uterus. So to prevent that,
right.
you combine the estrogen with progestogen, which reduces the risk of uterine cancer. In fact, women who have the uterus and they take combined estrogen and progestogen over 50 have a lower risk of developing cancer of the uterus compared to the women who are in the menopause and not taking anything.
Okay.
So this is why when you're having symptoms, you've tried the natural things and consideration for HRT comes up, you need to see your gynecologist,
of course,
to have a proper evaluation and then decide what, if you need to start hormones, what form of hormone replacement therapy is better for you.
Right. So what I'm hearing, Dr. Wheeler, because from the time sometimes you talk to some women and from the time you talk about menopause, they give you the impression, well, okay, this is just a part of life and there is nothing that we can do. Yeah. There is no treatment, there is no relief. So probably my marriage has to end. So, but I'm hearing hope.
No, there's lots of things that can be done. There's lots of things that can be done safely. There's lots of things that does not involve any hormones at all.
Right.
But as I said before, one of the single most things to help her is an understanding and knowledgeable partner.
Okay.
Now, for those who don't have a partner, well, still the woman herself getting the information, which this show is doing,
yes, of course, definitely,
is what would help them to understand what is going on, so that they can mitigate against it. There's actually a minority of women who have menopause symptoms who need hormone replacement therapy. The majority will have their symptoms dealt with by natural methods not related to hormones. And for example, sometimes if it's just a little bit of vaginal dryness, you give the hormone cream that is absorbed in the vagina, but it is not absorbed significantly throughout the body, so you don't have the systemic effect of taking a tablet.
Oh, of course.
And then in that particular case, you don't need to use the vaginal cream every night.
Right.
I would sometimes, if they have it, I'd say, okay, we'll use it every night for a week. Next week, alternate nights. Then you can go down to like once a week, because once you give the hormone replacement therapy, it is not a treatment for a couple of months and that's it. You are replacing what your body doesn't produce naturally.
Correct.
So when you are no longer replacing it, you may get the symptoms that the hormones had dealt with coming back.
Right, right. Well, I want to talk about fluctuation of hormones during menopause, and we touched on it just a bit. And not possibly, obviously now we know that it can affect one's sex drive and their general sexual health. And what are some ways to treat with that?
Right. So again, understanding. So for those women who are having the dryness of the vagina, meaning that, and also reduce libido or sex drive.
Yes.
If they have sex and they are not lubricated, it's going to pain, they will get bruising.
Yes.
And if it pains, that also causes a further reduction, or if she begins to associate sex with pain, she is not going to have any desire to have sex, and it makes the cycle worse.
Correct.
If the partner does not understand and encouraging her to continue, she might get bruised and then develop an infection.
Yeah.
So understanding that dryness is a problem, I advise them, look, you can use, if you don't want to try the hormone, because the hormone is not the first thing, they can use lubrication, so KY jelly.
Yes.
Other lubricants that you can purchase. Then there's also natural lubrication, which the partner will provide.
Of course.
And that is, so sometimes they start off intercourse and it's lubricated, and then they get dry after a couple of minutes. So I tell them, stop, put on some more lubricants. And what will happen by doing that, the pain associated with sex would be reduced.
Of course.
The bruising would be reduced.
Right.
And then they'd be more encouraged to continue, and then arousal may start to come back. Natural. So, and it is important for them to understand that, but the partner as well, because the husband may say, look, a couple of years ago there was no problem,
Right, no.
Everything wet and so on, now dry. Don't you love me anymore? That's the complaint that she would say, that are you no longer attracted to me?
Right, correct.
But he must understand there's nothing with him. It was the woman no longer having the estrogen that she would have had in her 20s and her 30s. And this is particularly problematic in the perimenopause, where she will still be having periods.
Yes.
So it's not about menopause, but your period's coming, but the transition, often the dryness and the reduced libido are some of the early changes that can take place. So she must understand, the partner must also understand it's nothing about him.
Right.
It's something she is going through, and he needs to be considerate.
Of course.
With her.
Well, Dr. Wheeler, we come back to the issue of education, because what I'm hearing from you is that the onus is actually on both partners to understand what is happening in the relationship, to understand what is happening specifically with your spouse, and to know that this is not a decision that she would have made on her own. It is just the changes that are taking place in her body.
Yes. That she does not have control
Correct.
over it. It's
Correct.
something that happens naturally.
Right. Well, I know that this program, when it as persons get to view the program, you could send it to your friends, send it to your family, send it to your co-workers, because we need to get the information out and get rid of the myths and the misconceptions about menopause. We need the spouses to understand what is taking place. And once you have the information, you are in a much better position. So that is what this program is all about. It's about bringing the information, whatever issues we face on a daily basis, bringing the information, bringing the solutions. And that is why, as we spoke about menopause, I brought the very able Dr. Wheeler to tell us about it. But at this time, we're going to take another short break. I tell you, the time is really running quickly. I think I'll have to bring Dr. Wheeler back for part 2. All right, but we're going to take another short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
If you're wondering where to find top-tier quality tiles and products to refurbish or renovate your wall, floor or pool, well, your worry is over. Come to D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center, Storbay Local Road, opposite the Bonnecourt Primary School, Tobago, where you will find porcelain, mosaic and ceramic tiles of the highest quality guaranteed. D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center also stocks thinset, grout, tile cutters and yes, windows. Plus a friendly smile and service that's second to none awaits you. So forget the hassle and get all the quality tiles you need right here in Tobago at D-Cells Tile and Ceiling Center. Call us today at 460-8802, 639-8281. Opens Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m.
Do you need electrical and plumbing supplies from construction to finish? Then check out Voodoo's Enterprises Limited, Milford Road, Canaan, Tobago. Get LED bulbs and fixtures, septic tanks, water pumps, laminate flooring, Prescott power tools, and so much more. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. Call 280-2050 or 660-4970. Voodoo's Enterprises Limited.
Hi, I am Deanne, host of Transforming Lives One at a Time, and I would like to introduce you to our brand new segment, Good Vibes, Good News. And this is where you have the opportunity to highlight your good news. You can send your 90 seconds video to our WhatsApp number 868-701-2099. That's 868-701-2099. Let's hear some of the good news that we never hear about. Good vibes, good news. Inspiring hope. Celebrating wins. Truly grateful.
Welcome back to the program. Today we are speaking about menopause and we have Dr. Victor Wheeler with us. Of course, he's no stranger to Tobago. We know that. Well, Dr. Wheeler, just during the break, we were talking about women having that conversation with their mothers and probably their elder sisters as it relates to menopause. Just talk about that a bit.
Yes. So, for example, some women who I see, let's say late 30s, early 40s, maybe having symptoms, I say, well, is your mother still alive? You have an elder sister? I tell them to ask their mother or the elder sister how their menopause experience was. What age did they stop having periods?
Okay.
Did they have a hard time with symptoms, or did they have not much symptoms? Because whatever happened to the mother tends to happen to her daughters.
Okay.
So if the patient herself is not sure, speak to mother or daughter, because there are some women who, even at 50, having periods strong and having symptoms, I said, look, speak to your mother, because there are some women where the mother had her period went until 56, 57.
Right.
And I say, well, this is what seems to be ahead for you.
Okay.
Or she's at 35 and then having the change, and then she said her mother period stopped at 40.
Right.
I say, well, this is what is like this. This information is useful provided the mother did not have a hysterectomy due to something like fibroids also.
Right.
Because if she had a hysterectomy, that's a surgical menopause and not a natural menopause.
Okay.
So that totally throws things out.
Everything.
But that's still the minority of women who go into the menopause, and as I said, what happens to the mother tends to happen to the daughters.
Okay. Well, Dr. Wheeler, I want to quickly drop into the mix the question of andropause. I mean, we have been hearing about it, but we want to bring some more clarity. Tell us what is andropause and some of the symptoms.
Right. So first of all, andropause, it is not like menopause. Men don't have periods.
Right.
So it's not a case where they were having periods and the period stopped. As opposed to the woman, it is the production of hormone estrogen by the ovaries, and the cessation of that causes the menopause symptoms. In the man, the male hormone testosterone does, as a process of aging, the levels of testosterone naturally start to fall late 40s, early 50s. So the man would experience things like, decreased vigor, reduced sex drive, difficulty with an erection, bones and muscles get a little weaker.
Right.
But this is a natural process of aging, because even though this is happening, the man still produces sperm.
Okay.
Even though the amount of sperm produces less, there's still the production of sperm. So that is why some men, 60s, 70s, can still father a child, because even though he is older, more frail, the testes still are capable of producing sperm.
Right.
Unlike the woman, once the menopause reach and the ovary stop functioning, there's no more production of eggs. So she cannot get pregnant. But the man is still able to father a child with a woman who is producing, who is still ovulating.
Yes.
Now, the same time period, the symptoms of andropause start late 40s, early 50s. Similar age group for women going through the menopause and perimenopause, late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
It's important for the man to understand what the woman's going through. But for some women who are not having any menopause symptoms and they notice that their partner is going down a bit, it's important to understand now there are treatments available, just like how you have hormone replacement therapy for the woman.
Yes.
You can actually have testosterone treatment for the men, but just as with the woman, you have lifestyle changes, diet, exercise, which is important because over the age of 50, as a man gets frailer, his muscles get a little weaker.
Yes.
It's important to do those exercise, cut back on the drinking and the smoking to help build up.
And what about these power drinks? These
well,
these what they call it? It's
all of these are stimulants.
Yes.
But young men use it as well. So even though the stimulants help to give, so the man during the andropause feels tired, less energetic.
Yes.
These power drinks will have them certainly have more energy. But if the man has high blood pressure,
right, that's a bad mix.
Because he end up with a heart attack or a stroke.
Right.
And sometimes, if he's diabetic, not taking care of himself, one of the effects of diabetes is a reduced libido.
Yes.
And complications of diabetes, same heart attack and stroke. So even though the man may want to take some of these stimulants, he should have a checkup to make sure blood pressure is normal.
Yes.
blood sugars are under control. It's actually better, and these things are just almost instantaneous or immediate. It is better to watch what you eat,
Yes.
diet, exercise, look at your overall health.
So lifestyle change.
Lifestyle change as well, rather than these sudden stimulants.
Yeah. The one-time fix.
One-time fix, because you hear about some men going to sleep and then they.
Yeah, of course.
You sometimes wonder what happens at
During
night.
that
So
time.
But the main difference, as I said, between the two,
Yes.
andropause, the men still produce sperm so
Sperms.
they can get someone pregnant. With a woman, once a period stops, that's it.
That's it. After the 1 year period.
After the 1 year period, that's it.
Period. Well, Dr. Wheeler, as we begin to wind up the program, I want you to share one thing that you would like to resonate with our viewers about menopause or even andropause, and maybe touch on an area that we didn't talk about today.
Right. Well, one thing I'd like to reinforce is that when the woman is starting to have symptoms and goes to her doctor to get a check, try to encourage your partner to go along.
Okay.
As you said, education,
Yes.
but education of both partners is extremely important, because the support of the partner, in my opinion, is even more important than what she does to address the symptoms. Because if he is understanding what she is going through,
Right.
he will be there to help her along the way. And as we mentioned about andropause, he may then start to have some symptoms.
Right.
So she will understand
Yes.
it's something that both, of course, that's provided both partners are around the same age.
Okay. True.
So when there's a difference in age, it may not arise. But
Yes.
primarily, we're talking about menopause and the woman, the partner, the knowledge of the partner understanding what his wife or girlfriend is going through is almost, and being supporting her is almost as important as whatever treatment she decides to embark on.
Right.
It's really important.
And of course, there's so many avenues that we can get information, but
Yes.
sometimes, of course, we know the information may not be the correct.
Well,
So the best thing would be to visit your gynecologist and get the information from the professionals,
Yes.
not just look, because everything we run online, and sometimes the information may not be correct, and it may.
So the one thing we didn't touch on is herbal treatment. Some of the herbal medication, they will tell the woman this is natural estrogens. Now there are some plants that have an effect similar to estrogen, but as I said before, in hormone replacement therapy, you need to be careful what hormones you are given, because if the plant estrogen has the same effect on the uterus as hormonal estrogen, you may have some problems later on. The big advantage with medication is that it's tested so we know what the side effects are, as opposed to persons who are on herbal medication. You don't know what the actual constituents are, you don't know what the side effects are.
Okay.
Many herbs are quite safe.
Right.
But I'm just cautioning when they tell you this is natural estrogen. If it does have an effect similar to the medical estrogen, it may have some effects on you that you need to be careful about. That's all.
Right. And even as you spoke about that, I wanted to find out about calcium, because I know calcium is very critical for the strengthening of bones, building bones. So is it that in the early years women should be using more calcium
From the age of 35, naturally the woman's bones tend to get a little brittle.
Okay.
So from that age, calcium should be part of the supplementation that you're taking. In fact, I advise women take the multivitamins.
Okay.
Whatever brand, because there's not a whole lot of difference between them, that would have iron, calcium,
magnesium,
vitamin D, magnesium. all these other vitamins, but specifically, as you mentioned, calcium. Calcium is important to strengthen bones.
Yes.
Because naturally, as a woman passes 35, the bones tend to get brittle, which is kind of a forerunner of what happens in the menopause when the estrogen levels fall.
Right. Got you. Well, Dr. Wheeler, I didn't really want to wrap up yet, but I know the time, and my director is here, always showing me the time. But I want you to take the opportunity to speak to a woman today who is now experiencing menopause, or even a man who is now experiencing andropause, and they are somewhat having a bit of a challenge. You could speak into the camera and just speak to them today, guide them, direct them what they should do.
Yes. So these are natural changes that your body is going through, and just like anything else, you can take some preventative things, exercise, diet, drink lots of water, have your calcium, and if you find, in spite of doing these things, the symptom persists, see your doctor to get a checkup to find out what's going on. In the case of the woman, if you have a mother or elder sister, ask her what age she started the menopause, her symptoms, what she actually experienced. This will guide you to what's going to happen with you.
Well, let me say thank you so much, Dr. Wheeler, gynecologist Dr. Victor Wheeler, for so competently walking us through the ins and outs of menopause. I tell you, I am much more equipped. Well, I'm not selling out my age, but I mean, I'm getting the information from in front. All right. And of course, I'm certain that this is a program that our viewers will really, really appreciate. So thank you once again, Dr. Wheeler, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I am certain that our viewers would have received a lot of clarity on the topic of menopause and even andropause. I will definitely be calling you again because I'm thinking about so many other topics that we need to address. And of course, that is what we do here at Transforming Lives One at a Time. Well, viewers, this is where I take my leave. Remember to check out our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, TikTok. You could check us out. If you have a program that you really think that we should discuss, you could feel free, send us a message, drop us a line. Let us know and we'll see how best we can accommodate that. All right, I'm your host, Diane, encouraging you to check out all the information. Even as we talk about menopause, as we talk about andropause, get the information, because as you get the information, you are in a better position, to really not just exist during this time, but to be able to thrive and still live your life to the best of your ability. As has become customary, I leave you with the definition of transformation, which is an internal shift that brings us into alignment with our fullest potential. Hey, we've got this. See you next time. Hi, I am Deanne, host of Transforming Lives One at a Time. And it's that time again when the world celebrates International Men's Day on Wednesday, November 19th. Men, I encourage you to push past your limitations, ignite that power and passion from within you to succeed in every sphere. In spite of the many challenges and turmoils you face, know that you were born to win. You were born to shine. You were born to make impact. Our men remain resilient, unmovable, committed to the task, and focused. Happy International Men's Day from all of us at Transforming Lives One at a Time. We salute you.